Welcome to Same But Different, the movie talk show where we talk about movies once a week, like a movie book club. And if we watch movies in between, we review those too and talk about those. So it might be more than once a week, whatever.
We do what we want to do.
My name's Derek. This is Brody, my brother, and we love movies. This week, we watched an Apple original called The Gorge, starring Miles Teller and Anya Taylor Joy, where they are positioned on either side of a giant gorge, and they're military trained, and they are told to keep whatever's in that gorge. And then they form a romantic relationship somehow.
They do.
Let's get into it. Brody, what did you think of The Gorge?
All right. Let's talk about The Gorge. I'm going to do my best. Normally, I don't care about spoilers that much, but this movie relies on you not knowing all that much about it, I think. Granted, I'm going to talk about kind of what goes on, but not what goes on.
Good on the trailer for not giving away.
Yeah. One of my favorite genres, if you can call it a genre, is when the genre pivots completely to a different genre halfway through.
Okay. So, technique, I guess.
Let's call it a technique. Yeah, I mean, the only example I can think of right now is Titanic. Especially when you don't know it's coming.
For letting you guys know.
Yeah, whatever, fuck you. So, straight up, like, I keep saying straight up for some reason. 8 out of 10.
Wow. Oh, that's huge.
I'm giving this an 8.
That's a big rating for a streaming movie. Okay, let's hear it.
For what this was, I struggled to find gripes. At the end of it, I'm like, okay, it's not a perfect movie. It can't be a 10. It did everything it should have, and it did it well. Okay, it had a beautiful way of unfolding. Like, it constantly kept moving to new territory, both character-wise, plot-wise, and setting-wise. It just kept giving you the next layer. It managed to capture a pretty great love story, which I think is a rarity in these sorts of movies. Usually, like, it may be a good love story, but you don't care if they die, or it's not a good love story, or there's too much sexism, or something like that. I also think this movie looked stunning, and I think that if it had a bigger budget, it would have fell so short.
Oh, interesting. Do we know what the budget was?
I don't, and I can't say it was small. Like, with what they did, there's no way it was small, but it felt like they could have gone so much further with it if they had more money, and they may have if they had more money, and I think that would have been to its fault. There's so much charm in how they attacked each scene. It just worked. What I would have liked to see for this movie, what would have helped its world building, 2 things. 1, Apple TV should have just made this a TV show.
Oh, a full TV show.
I think they really could have fleshed out more. That way, the almost like video game feel this movie had throughout it would have made sense. Like, each level, each episode could have been the next level. You know, did you feel that as they were going from like setting to setting? There was almost like cutscenes introducing you to the next mission you had to do. It was awesome.
100%. I was like, this is the Resident Evil movie. We should get already.
It was so cool. The witty banter and the cute relationship it was incredible. It was amazing. And then it kind of tapered off, and justifiably so, because stakes change, things change.
Sure.
But it just built up so much charm, and it really just like coddled me in its arms with how lovely these two characters were together, that I would have liked to see more of that. And that, again, if it was a TV show, we could have. Looking back on this movie, I don't know if I liked the first half or the second half more. I could have watched the entire movie if it was just the first half. I still would have loved it. And the same goes for the second half. The actors have incredible chemistry, but it goes beyond that, where the characters have incredible chemistry too. Like, they were doing some Army of Two shit.
Yes.
I was like, that is the partner you want in a situation like this.
I want to argue, and this is just a personal opinion of mine, but I don't think the actor chemistry was there at all.
At all?
Not at all. I wasn't but like, just maybe it was there only a little bit. But the character chemistry, yes, they were partners. I believe that they like worked well together, their backgrounds and who they were. Yes, but I didn't sense the actor chemistry that much at all. And I think it has to do with, and this is one of my gripes, is the fact that they were just both, other than like smirking and giving like a little snarky remark here and there, they're just both so boring all the time.
I don't think that that's true.
Maybe boring's the wrong word. There was hardly any levity to either of their personalities. And I think that's just because two military trained people coming together, I don't know.
They had levity in the snipe contest, in the dancing, in the Christmas thing. Like, there was so much.
But they did it with a straight face the whole time.
Oh my God. You're crazy, man. At the end of the day, I think this movie was beautiful. I think it was action-packed, wicked cool. It was funny at times. It was cute. And it was interesting. And it was just fucking rad. The only thing, I wish they could have delved deeper into their relationships and the mystery of the gorge. Gorge.
You don't think they delved deep enough?
But that is the sacrifice I think they made when they split this movie asunder. Neither half feels completely full, but...
Except when they're put together, just like either half of them on either side of the gorge.
Oh, wow. 10 out of 10.
Wow, the movie is a metaphor of itself. Cool. I'm really happy you loved it. I really enjoyed my time with it too. Not to that extent. I found myself saying, this movie fucking slaps. A lot, because like especially the second half, I was like, no way did I expect it to go this way and actually execute it well.
So well.
You see where Derrickson was allowed to play and be himself, and then you see the studio stuff. And I think the studio stuff came from the romance, to be honest. I gave it initially a 6.5.
Okay.
Tempted to push it to a 7, so let's just say 7.
Okay.
Because, yeah, reminiscing about all the cool stuff it offered, it definitely, like, I can't say I didn't have fun with this movie. Like, I had so much fun. But there are so many things about it that I was like, that's so stupid. And nothing to do with the creatures or the visuals or anything like that. It was really the script.
Oh, okay. I was even watching it. I found myself saying good script in my head.
Interesting. Okay. I think there was way too much of an exposition dump too many times. I know when you meet up with your predecessor and you're taking over for him and he's supposed to explain everything to you, but they just sat down and they talked and they were just like going through so much information. And I think a lot of that information could have been saved for later when they start exploring down below and they slowly start to discover new things. I think there were a lot of exchanges between them. I'm going to sound like an idiot now because I can't even think of examples, but there was a lot of times where they would say something that was just so obviously happening. And I was like, clearly things that didn't need to be said were said. And then there were a lot of moments in the movie that there were so many convenient things that happened that were only happening to get the plot rolling.
Okay, but that's kind of just an action sci-fi in general, isn't it?
Yeah, but when it's like you're looking at someone from 100 miles away and they sense you and turn around to look at you, that's so dumb.
Okay.
That's so dumb.
Okay, yes. I did think that because it happened not only once, multiple times.
Oh, multiple times.
Yeah.
And that's just one example of like minor little convenient things. Nothing like Deus Ex Machina where like they're saved by some random writing force, but just like the random little tiny convenient things.
Okay.
Second half of the film, I was like, we should have got here sooner. I know you liked the romance, and I did too. I just think we could have maybe make it slightly longer of a movie or just cut the romance down a little bit and get us into that gorge quicker.
But then it wouldn't it wouldn't be a genre flip if it happened earlier. Then it would just be any horror movie that starts with kids on campus making jokes and then someone dies 20 minutes in.
No, I'm not saying it's got to be like 20 minutes into it, but it took an hour.
Good.
I know that's what you like, but I'm saying it should maybe 45 minutes.
You know, Iron Man didn't put his suit on till an hour into the first movie.
That guy sits down and talks to him and says, nobody has ever seen what these hollow men look like. It's a mystery. And then like the first day on the job, they start crawling up the side of the wall. Why do they choose that day? That's another convenient thing. Why do they choose that round? Out of all the people that have stood at those posts for all these years, and for him to say nobody's ever seen what they look like, why that time?
I feel like, and maybe it wasn't explained properly, I feel like they were still shot off the walls and they still climbed up the walls in the past and stuff like that, but
then they'd know what they look like. They would at least be able to describe them a little bit.
Maybe.
You know, it was just that was a big convenience thing. I think they should have gotten to the gorge a little bit earlier. It still would have been a genre shift. In 45 minutes into the movie, I'm getting romance, and then they're in this gorge, and they have to, like, figure out fucking evil.
But then all the cute Taylor Swift writing notes through the window stuff wouldn't have happened.
Did you catch the references to playing drums and playing chess?
Oh, I definitely got the chess one. I didn't think of the drums one. Yes, now I do.
7 out of 10 for me. A little too convenient as far as plot goes. Some of the dialogue was exposition heavy and cheese, but I really did have a fun time watching this movie. If anything, I can say watch it to have fun.
I liked the climax. I hated the ending. Not hated. I shouldn't say hated, but the last like 2 minutes of this movie, I think they just wrote something to end it. Like they didn't try at all.
They should have ended it 2 minutes prior.
Yeah.
But test audiences would have been like, hey.
But what about...
Why? Oh, no. Have you seen The Gorge on Apple TV? If you have, let us know in the comment section below what you thought of this thrilling sci-fi romance horror adventure
video game.
And whether or not you like Miles Teller and Anya Taylor Joy. Put that in there too. While you're down there, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell for notifications to let you know when we upload more, because we're gonna keep doing that. Next week, I already watched it tonight, but Brody's gonna watch it so we can both talk about it. The Electric State, directed by, I think written by too? Check me on that. But the Russo brothers, starring Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt, along with a slew of celebrity voices.
Oh, for real? I don't even know. I don't even think I've seen a trailer for this movie.
Most of which who have inked their contracts in blood for Netflix. This is a huge budget movie. Some of the biggest you've seen. Does it come through? We'll talk about it next week. Come on back. Watch The Electric State. Comes out this Friday.
Do you think Millie Bobby Brown's going to watch it? Because she doesn't like movies.
No, what? That's so weird to me.
Yeah, it drives me nuts.
That's, if you are in the movie business, watch movies. Like, that's your job, basically.
Yeah.
It's like homework.
Yeah, should be.
Speaking of watching movies, keep doing that. Watch movies all the time. Come on back. Same but different. Love you.
Bye. We do what we want to do.